What if the key to quit fapping isn't willpower, but simply keeping your phone out of reach? Sounds simple, but does it really work? So to answer this question properly, we're gonna look at 3 factors that influence what I call the fap meter, okay? So the fap meter is the likelihood that you are going to fap. And the goal is to get this meter as low as possible. There's not necessarily guarantees in NoFap, but there's definitely probabilities and likelihood. And so I'm going to show you how each of these factors affects our fap meter. Now, if we start with a baseline, okay, you have 0 boundaries with your technology, you use it whenever you want, you have whatever you want on the phone, there's no limits whatsoever. The fap meter is full, 100%. 100% I can tell you, if you just use your phone as you please, you just give into the algorithms, you fall into all the notifications and everything else, very, very good chance that using your phone will lead to a slip. Whether it's through Instagram, whether it's through messaging, whether it's through YouTube or something else, your chances are sky high. So let's talk about our first factor to try to reduce the likelihood. First factor is your environment. So here's what we know. We know that 91% of traffic to porn sites is on the phone. So what we're talking about today is not just some small little needle mover. This is actually a huge deal. And if we can really master this and master our environment, things could change very quickly. So let me ask you this simple question. Do you have any areas in your home where the phone is off limits? Okay, your bedroom, the living room, kitchen. Do you have one area where when you go there, you don't bring your phone? The bathroom, that'd be a tough one for a lot of people. Your environment matters. So what I want to suggest is 2 things. Number 1, and this is like very easy, low-hanging fruit, charge your phone outside of your room, okay? So wherever your charger is, go move it. Move it out of your bedroom. And I'm telling you, this is a very simple one, but just keeping your phone out of the bedroom alone is going to go a long way. And this would be the first step of really mastering your environment. Is I would say your bedroom should not be allowed to have your phone in it. Okay? So anytime you walk in, you just know I leave my phone behind. Me personally, in my living room is where I have my charging station. So my phone just goes on there as soon as I get home. Sometimes I need to pull it off and I need to do my thing or whatever. It never comes into my bedroom. I mean, literally never. Now, this alone, what we just talked about, this is going to knock off some major points in the fap meter. I can guarantee you just that alone, because if we were to break down not just when you slip, but the moments or sometimes even the days leading up to it, I guarantee you there's probably some activity on your phone in your bedroom. Other things you want to think about is, because this is at home, right? So at home, obviously we want to really guard against the bedroom. But I would say at work as well, you want to be really conscious of that. So generally for me, when I'm at work, my phone is locked up. It's in my backpack, and my backpack's kept in a closet, usually outside of my office. So the key here when you're at work is that your phone should be out of reach. Now, if you need to use your phone for your job, then I would say have designated times where it's out of reach. So you just don't want it to be this constant thing where I always have my phone, I'm always a slave to my phone. You want to have periods in your workday where this is out of reach. You can't just grab it while you're doing other things. That's the real key. Now, I'll give you one little bonus, okay? This is if you want to take this even a step further. But I would say have designated activities where when I'm doing these activities, I do not use my phone, okay? So some examples. I mentioned it earlier, going to the bathroom, right? That would be a great example where it's like, okay, when I am in the bathroom, I don't bring my phone with me. Okay, another really good one, especially if you're a family person, meals around the dinner table, okay? I'm not gonna use my phone anytime I have a meal. Just little metrics like that go a very long way. It's like only half hour at a time. It's not like a huge deal. You're not gonna feel these big withdrawals. But it can really go a long way, because we know that especially with stuff like this, if you are connecting more meaningfully with people, around a dinner table or at work, or with the other people that you live with, more meaningful connection is definitely going to reduce the likelihood of you fapping. That's what all the research would suggest. And so that's why these are really, really good places to start, but we don't want to stop there. Okay? Our second factor, very, very important, is timing. So with timing, most traffic to porn sites happens from 10 p.m. to midnight. What that means is, and like I said, 91% of it on your phone. So if we take care of environment, which is having some basic boundaries around our phone usage, and then we take care of timing. Okay, so we have an evening boundary. Now we don't want to set the evening boundary to 10 p.m. We want to set it earlier. So for me, it's 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., my phone goes into do not disturb, but it goes into that mode where I can't access apps. You know, it's kind of like the nighttime mode. I would say the earlier before 10 p.m., the better, but definitely 10 p.m. at the very latest. Having a boundary here, I mean, literally, we're talking about a majority of traffic happening around that time. So if you keep your phone outside of your bedroom, right? And then you have a rule that after 9 p.m., you're not on your phone. All of a sudden, we have dramatically reduced our chances of fapping just purely by data alone. Okay, now the other thing that I really want you to be conscious of when it comes to timing is the AM. All right, the longer you can delay getting on your phone early in the morning, the less likely your brain is to go into that more kind of dopamine-driven, needing stimulation state. For the AM, the key here, I'm just gonna write this very simply, delay is the way, all right? So the longer, the better. So for me, I'm usually up at about 6:30 in the morning. I typically don't check my phone or anything until noon. So I mean, I've worked on this for a long time. That's 5.5 hours before I'm scrolling through, checking messages, doing all that stuff. Sometimes I do need to pop in. It does happen. It's not perfect. But even on those days, I'm still trying to delay as much as possible. Now, as a really good starting point for you, I would say the minimum you want to start with is probably the first hour. So if you can go the first hour without your phone, I'm telling you, this will make a huge, huge difference. It'll put your brain in a different state. You're gonna be more focused, less attached to the phone. And actually, it'll be even easier to do these things. See, this is the beautiful thing, is these play into each other. So if you get on your phone right away first thing in the morning, number one, it's just gonna be harder to keep it out of reach. Those designated activities, it's gonna be a little bit easier to kind of skirt the activity, especially, you know, you have breakfast, you probably go to the bathroom sometime in the morning. So if you set some designated activities there, delay is the way. If you can just keep it out of your sight, out of your hand for the first hour, you can really set yourself up for success. And I'll tell you, as somebody who typically goes, you know, about 5 hours before I really get into my phone, the days where I don't do this because, you know, I make up an excuse, or maybe sometimes I legitimately need to get in there, but, well, now that I'm in here, I'll go check another thing. It's a slippery slope. It spirals very quickly. And so the more you can do this, the more likely you're gonna be set up for success in all these areas. So if you can delay, okay, even just the first hour, this is going to, again, significantly reduce our chances that you are gonna fap. So we're doing really good here so far. Like, if we put some basic boundaries around where we use our phone, how it gets used in different environments, if we agree to not be on our phone past, you know, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and in the morning to go the first hour without it, you can see how our fat meter is going down. And we're not even at our third item yet. Wait until you see what number 3 is. The third thing we're gonna focus on to get our fat meter down to 0 and to ensure that we're handling our tech in a healthy way that keeps us from fapping is digital infrastructure, okay? Big words here, but it really just means 3 simple things. Okay, the first thing is we have to pay attention to the apps we use on our phone. So when I was struggling with pornography addiction, I struggled for 15 years. I woke up one day and I realized if I didn't have social media on my phone, I was probably just way less likely to view porn. So I got rid of the apps. I haven't looked back since. Okay. Now if you need to use social media for your business or whatever, I get it. I use social media for my business. I have a big following, hundreds of messages a day on Instagram. I still don't have the app on my phone unless I need it. I remove it right away. So just being selective about the apps you have on your phone, that is going to determine really how attractive your phone actually is. So if this feels like a big jump for you, what I would say is pick one social media platform between Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Like pick one and keep that one and delete the rest. The rest are fluff anyway, you probably don't need it. So the first thing is we're gonna do app removal. But the second thing we actually wanna talk about is the layout. And this is really important. So if I were to unlock my phone for you, what you would see is there's no apps. I don't actually have any apps on my pages. And the goal of that, or the idea of that, is when I open my phone, I don't want to be persuaded or interrupted. So have you ever like picked up your phone to go get something and then you unlock the screen and then you're like, oh, Facebook, I got a notification. I'll go check that real quick. And then like 2 minutes later, you're like, wait, why did I unlock my phone? Or you close your phone and you walk away and then you're like, oh, I was supposed to go get directions to get to my friend's place. I completely forgot. So this is gonna keep your focus a lot stronger. It's gonna keep you less distracted. It's really gonna go a long way. So we wanna remove unnecessary apps that are distracting, especially if you can use that app on your desktop, then use it on your desktop instead, because the desktop is less stimulating, it's not as portable, or your laptop, desktop, you get me. Remove the apps that you don't need to have on your phone, and then my personal recommendation is just clear the screen. Don't have anything on there. That way you only get what you're actually looking for. Another really big one, and this is how the tech companies have made their billions, a little thing called notifications, all right? I'm gonna take a much harder stance on this one, and I'm gonna say, turn them off, all of them. I'm talking all of them, people. Turn them all off, okay? You don't need any messaging notifications. That is for darn sure. The only notifications I get on my phone are reminders. So that's the only thing that can actually kind of poke through. No news, no messaging, definitely no social media. Like turn all of it off. The first thing an app asks you when you install it is, can I send you notifications? Will you allow them? And I say, no, I will not allow them. No notifications, okay? Again, very simple, but we want to protect your focus. That's the whole point of NoFap. Now, if we do these two things, guys, I mean, we're talking about major progress. I mean, if you can't go on your major social media platforms, you've turned down notifications, all of a sudden now our fat meter has gone way down. Let's really think about this, okay? You woke up in the morning, you went your first hour without using the phone at all, okay? And then you had a meal, and you've agreed that when you have a meal, you're not gonna use your phone. So now you're on your way to work, and at work while you're at your desk, you keep your phone out of reach. So we've really made it very unlikely that you would actually need to use your phone at this point. Now, sure, you use it throughout the day and you send some messages and you check in and you gotta do some work and whatever, but it's balanced, it's even keel. And then by the time you get to the end of the day, 8 p.m., the phone gets turned off, it's in the charging station, which is not in your bedroom. Like, we can start to see why the fat meter has gotten so low. And now we've removed apps, we've turned off notifications. So the phone is just not that stimulating. And to clinch this whole thing and to make it even less stimulating, we are gonna pay attention to color, okay? Now, there is a function in your phone in the accessibility section that will actually turn the color grade off. So when you open your screen, it's like a black and white kind of filter gets put over your phone. And what this does is it just makes your phone less stimulating. The stimulation that even the color can bring your phone actually makes it very engaging and it makes it a little bit addictive. And so this really dampens the addictive quality of your phone. It makes sure that you just use your phone for more functionality than for wasting time or dead scrolling or all that kind of stuff. And this, my friends, this is the clincher for emptying our fat meter. Now, this doesn't mean that you're never gonna fap again. What it means is in a typical day, your likelihood of fapping is very low, literally next to none. If you do the three things we talked about today, right? Environment, timing, and you set up your digital infrastructure properly, the only thing that could get in the way is if there's deeper issues going underneath. And typically, if you've been struggling compulsively for a long time, or if you tried to quit a couple different ways and it didn't really work, that's an indicator that this is going to stack the odds in your favor day to day. But you probably need to do a little bit of deeper work to really get proper help. I just know this from helping thousands of guys quit porn, that usually these are really good ways to start. This is low-hanging fruit. It gets momentum going. And then we want to take things to the next level. We want to get underneath the surface. That's what's going to ensure that not only can you get this fat meter down to zero, but that it stays at zero. And that's obviously the goal here. So if you found this helpful, don't miss my next video, 9 years of NoFap advice in just 8 minutes. Click it now to watch.